never felt tomorrow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a video that I haven't filmed in a very long time, but I used to a lot on my channel. So you guys, a bunch of you requested on Instagram to see a what my toddler eats in a day or toddler meal ideas video. So I took you through our day yesterday with all of the things that Sydney ate from morning until she went to bed at night. So this day in particular though, you guys, I really didn't cook. So that's a full disclosure. About 4 nights a week, I would say I cook an actual meal, and then the rest of the week is quick meals or leftovers or something like that. So just full disclosure, this was just our real life and what she ate for the day. So I hope you guys get ideas from this video. I hope you guys like these videos. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed. My name's Haley. This is Sydney. She is 3 years old. She is not picky by any stretch of the word, so just keep that in mind. But I do like to keep it real, and this is what she really ate. I would love to keep doing videos like these, or maybe just do exclusive like breakfast ideas, snack ideas. God bless you. Yeah, so anyway, leave me a comment down below. What would you guys like to see next? I love doing videos like these. I'm always very hesitant on making them because I don't know how relatable they are to you, if your children are super picky or not. But 90% of you on my Instagram poll told me it doesn't matter. Even if your kids are picky, you might still be able to grasp some ideas or things to try with your child. And you never know unless you try things with your child to see what they do and don't like or will tolerate. I know I've mentioned it so long ago that I would do like tips and tricks on what I've done to help Sydney eat well and be very like just love and enjoy her foods. And I will include some little tidbits here and there throughout the voiceover of this video. So yeah, with that said, I guess we shall jump into what my toddler ate in a day yesterday. And like I said, if you want to see more of these, leave me a comment down below.
So every single morning looks like this, where we start out giving Sydney a little bit of fruit, whether it be banana, a bowl of blueberries, etc., whatever we have on hand for the day, and her cup of milk before I get breakfast, while I'm making my coffee, doing my morning thing, just to tide her over because she always wakes up so hungry. This morning, I thought I would show you guys what I make for like a sheet pan breakfast. You guys, it is so good and so just fun, I don't know, for Sydney to eat. So I start out with making some hash browns. You can also use tater tots. I have done this with that before. And then cook them halfway through. I flip them over and I make a little indent with a spoon for eggs to sit on. It is easier with tater tots to get eggs to like sit in place, but then I just popped 2 whole eggs very slowly and very gently in the center of the hash browns, and then I popped them back in the oven and cooked them until the eggs were cooked through. I did top them with cheese before they were completely done. That way some cheese could get a little bit crispy on the eggs. And then I also sliced up some tomatoes. I like for Sydney to have some vegetables every morning, whether it be spinach in mixed with her eggs, or cherry tomatoes is one of my go-tos and her favorites. So I just sliced some of those up, and then when the hash browns were all done, I topped them with a little bit more cheese and plated that for Sydney with some sour cream. I did season with a little bit of pepper on top. I'm trying not to be afraid of throwing seasonings at her to mix things up and get her palate ready for different flavors constantly.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, really wanna know.
So Sydney's first food ever was carrots, and then her second food ended up being like green beans or something. I didn't introduce fruit into Sydney's diet for at least 2 months, I think. It was about 2 months of her being on like baby food first. And that's just because I don't know. I just had it in my head. I didn't want her to be like instantly addicted to sugar, even though breast milk and it's like sugary anyway. But yeah, I just wanted her to get used to like food and vegetables first. So that's a lot. I always get asked, like when I introduced food, what was her first food and whatnot. Also, I try to be very enthusiastic about food and, you know, let her know that I love food, she loves food, it's all so delicious, and be enthusiastic about it. I definitely let her, you know, have her own opinion about things, but I try to encourage her to have a good relationship with food. I've never forced something on her. Of course, I'll say like one more bite, or, you know, eat one more bite of this, and or whatever. But she's really never refused anything. I think maybe like a couple of times she hasn't wanted something, and, you know, I will let her have her own opinion. So my friend's daughter is very picky, and I know, I mean, there's many toddlers are picky. And she was over here one time. I'm just using this as an example because I cannot relate with having a picky child with food. So it's I want to try to be as like, I don't know, relatable as possible, but at the same time, like, this is my life, so I only know this and what works for us. But so my friend's daughter was here, and she wanted to try a yogurt that we had, and Sydney was eating this yogurt, and her daughter is very picky, like I said. Erica, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're in the majority here. Anyway, so her daughter tried it and then started gagging. And to me, if a child is gonna gag over food, that's where I draw the line. I'm not gonna force you to eat anything, because that to me is torturous. That's just me. When I was little, I went to daycare, and the one food that I remember not people, but like my daycare provider, you know, making me eat, or like literally I would sit at the table for an hour while kids were napping with my bowl still with baked beans on it. And I would just gag and just physically repulsed by them. And I was kind of forced to eat some of it. I just don't think forcing food will create a good relationship with toddler and food, or person in general with food. I was a fairly picky child, and I don't know how I got so blessed with a non-picky child here. But yeah, I let her prepare foods for me. She loves being in the kitchen with me and helping me cook and make things just anytime she can. She loves it. And one of her favorite things to do is play in her pretend kitchen with her pretend food. Don't you like to play with your food? Pretend food and cook? Yeah. Yeah, you like cooking with mommy? Yeah. Yeah.
So this was an extremely rare day where we did some fresh squeezed orange juice, and I hardly ever give Sydney juice. I just think it's just, in my opinion, please don't take offense. This is just me. I just don't think it's necessary for her to have, because it is sugar, whether it's natural or not. So I like for her to just have milk and water throughout the day, and then juice is like a treat. So she is a little bit congested today, so I let her help me squeeze some fresh orange juice to have as a treat this morning.
If I will ever figure out where the road goes,
what do you think, Sydney? You squeezed your own orange juice.
I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind. I will keep on holding my head high.
Another thing I like to do is kind of have a set meal schedule. So we do, breakfast. She may have a mid-morning snack around 10:30, and that was the juice this day. And then lunch is usually around, between 12 and 1, depending on what we are doing for the day. So I decided to do some ham roll-ups. Sydney's been loving ham and cheese roll-ups lately, but we were actually out of our American cheese. So she had some ham roll-ups with this buffalo hummus from Trader Joe's, some 3-seed beet crackers, and some sugar snap pea pods, and then a little bit of avocado, only because it was going to turn and I needed to give it to her. Lunch is usually either like a sandwich or a meal sort of like this where it's just like, I don't know, she picks at different things. Another thing I should mention, if she's going to have fruit with a meal, I usually try to give it to her after she's already eaten some of her other non-fruit items.
It's just one thing that I've kind of consciously told myself I would try my hardest not to do when she tries something, although I'm gonna say it right now. When she tries something, if she's not unsure about it or if it's new, I don't ever say, you don't like it? Do you not like it? I try not to feed her with ideas or with words. I let her kind of say her own opinion about things, but even if she doesn't like something, I still don't say that. I'll say, I'll just kind of ignore it and I'll just let her eat what she eats. But she really will revisit something unless I plant something in her head, you know what I mean? So anyway, I try to let her create her own opinions without me influencing her on them at all. I don't even know if that's made a difference or effective, but I do know, I mean, we are all influenced by what we are told, by what we hear. So that is why I try to stay so neutral and I don't show emotion and I don't feed her with those words of saying, oh, you don't like it? Because then that's just going to be in her vocabulary for things she tries that she might not want. Which is fine if she doesn't like it, but that's, I don't know, that's just a thing that I do also.
Snack time is usually around 3:30 p.m. and this particular day we had gone outside and played really hard in the snow. So she was super hungry. So she actually had a lot. I gave her some veggie sticks, which are basically glorified potato chips, but we just recently got those from Trader Joe's and she loves them. Then she devoured that bowl and wanted some applesauce. So this is just some Go-Go Squeeze strawberry applesauce. And then she was telling me she was still hungry.
What'd you just say?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
Yes.
Still?
Yes.
Even after 2 bowls of veggie sticks and an applesauce?
But I'm hungry.
Okay.
Because it was still 3:30 and we had some time before dinner, I decided to let Sydney have another snack. This is the original snack I was going to give her, but she said she didn't want it, first of all. So it was just a Sargento snack breaks with cheese, nuts, and dried cranberries. She ended up only eating all of the dried cranberries. No surprise here, all the sugary stuff first. She did snack on a little bit of cheese and nuts, but then was full afterwards. She also sometimes misunderstands having to go to the bathroom for wanting more food. So there is that, but she definitely did not eat all of these Sargento snack breaks.
And I use seasonings. I definitely have introduced from a very early age, her pediatrician, I remember it was like past 1, I believe, talk with your pediatrician to make sure, but I believe past 1 or maybe 1.5 is when you can start adding salt, peppers, flavors and spices, and I started doing that at a very early age and adding different flavors to her palate. That way she was introduced to a lot. I never tried to just serve her plain noodles with butter or like things that were super plain. Obviously when they're little and they're, she had plain food in the very beginning because that's what, they recommend. Anyway, but at a very early age, I started adding seasonings and flavors and sauces and dips and just things like that to her palate to kind of introduce it to her. And she's enjoyed it ever since. Yeah, there was never a time where I was like, oh, I'm not gonna give her that because that's like, not that great. Like she had waxed beans and beets and legumes and beans and just everything you can think of under the sun she had at an early age. Obviously, make sure there's no allergies and whatnot, and like trying foods at just different times. I'm talking like past beyond 1 when they're okay with certain foods. Anyway.
Like I said in the beginning of this video, I basically didn't cook today. So this was a 5-minute convenient, easy dinner. Half the time I cook like a full-blown meal, but other times I use convenience meals like this Trader Joe's vegetable fried rice. You guys, it is my go-to. It is amazing. It has all kinds of vegetables in there, edamame, carrots, peppers. It's good. I also like to scramble an egg in there for some texture and just a little bit more protein. So that is what I did. And I also added some seasonings. I added some coconut aminos, lower in sodium than soy sauce. And then I love this Thai chili sauce. It does have a little bit of heat to it and it's a little bit sweet. I just love this in the stir fry. So that is what I added. And then I also added some rotisserie chicken on top for some protein and texture. Rotisserie chicken has been one of Sydney's favorite proteins. It's very tender, very juicy, and I try to get the seasoned rotisserie chicken as well. And I know a lot of kids, if they're iffy on protein, they tend to like rotisserie chicken because it's tender. So try it if you haven't before.
Is that yummy?
Yeah. Kind of tastes like kitty syrup.
It tastes like what? Candy syrup?
Yes.
Oh.
It was my candy syrup.
Oh.
Candy syrup.
It's that Thai chili sauce. Mmm, yummy.
Can I taste something?
Yeah, she's just a big foodie, and I'm very blessed to have her love food so much. If she looks grumpy, it's because she was chomping on this and accidentally like hurt her mouth, like bit her tongue or something. So that's why she looks a little grumpy right now. Also, it is pretty genetic. Everyone in my family, we are all foodies. So I don't know if those tips helped you guys at all, but I hope they did. And if they did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. What are some things that you guys do to help encourage your children to have a good relationship with food and be adventurous and try new things? We can all help another fellow mama going through some struggles with, you know, making sure their child is nourished. So, all right, you guys, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.